In this series, we're stepping into each room of the blueprint of family violence against men, a model that maps how abuse works against male victims of family violence. Today, we're still in the master bedroom, the room where psychological manipulation reshapes your sense of self. This video focuses on blame shifting, a tactic that doesn't scream or hit, it simply rewrites the story until you're the one at fault for their behavior. Blame shifting is when someone refuses to own their harmful actions, instead makes you feel like the reason it happened. They snapped because of your tone. They lie because of your questions. They betray because of your boundaries. It doesn't sound like denial, it sounds like reason. I only acted that way because you dot dot dot. As if their cruelty was a cause and effect equation that started with you. Over time, you stop looking at what they did and start obsessing over how you caused it. You carry the weight of their behavior, like it's yours to fix. For many men, this tactic lands in a dangerous sweet spot: responsibility. We are taught to steady the ship, to fix what's broken, to protect those we love, even if it means taking the hit. And so, when she says, "You made me do this," we don't rage, we reflect. We try to explain, we de escalate, apologize, anything to make it stop. But what we don't see is that every apology validates the behavior, every act of responsibility erases hers. Let's step through four of the most common forms of blame shifting. Blame shifting type 1 is trigger based justification. This is when they blame their outburst on something you did, like it was a reflex that you caused. They say, "I only yelled because you are asking me stupid questions." Or, "And that's your fault, and here's why." It makes their abuse towards you feel reactive, not chosen, like you're the match that lit their explosion, even when you did nothing wrong. So you start policing your tone, second guessing your feelings. You think, if I just said that differently, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Blame shifting type 2 is reaction inversion. This is when your response to the abuse becomes the new crime. They insult you, then gasp at your tone. They cross a line, then accuse you of being unstable when you speak up. Unlike mirror accusations, which reflect shared behaviors but erase their own, reaction inversion focuses solely on your emotional response and uses it to rewrite the entire event. Suddenly, your anger is the issue, your sadness is manipulative, your defense is aggression. It doesn't matter what they did, the focus is on how you dared react to their abuse. Over time, you learn to stifle your own emotions, to show no hurt at their abuse, to stop defending yourself against their attacks, because even your reactions become a reason they attack again. Blame shifting type 3 is delayed reframing. This is when current mistreatment is justified by something you did long, long ago, or some imagined slight you may do in the future. They say, "I'm angry now because of what you did," and the thing they reference was 5 years ago and something you've never done since. Or they might say, "This is why I can't trust you, because I know what you'll do." Then they name a behavior you have never actually done before. It sounds almost logical, but it's not justified and not accountability. It's emotional time travel. You're punished for a past you have grown out of, or a future you have never lived, and nothing in the present gives you the right to ask for better treatment. Blame shifting type 4 is invisible rule violation. This is when you're punished for breaking a rule that has never been shared. You didn't text at the right time, you brought something up that was apparently off limits, you made a decision without reading their mind. This is often what happens when no obvious justification is available. So they turn to new, invisible rules instead. A rule you were never told about, a rule that only exists after you've broken it. And when you try to explain yourself, you're accused of being cold, uncaring, or playing dumb. This isn't about mutual respect, It's about your abuser inventing new ways to blame you for their actions and turn blame into the shifting sands beneath your feet. There was one moment that still sits with me, not because it was violent, but because of how surreal it was. I raised something she had done that hurt me, and her face went blank. Then, without a word, she turned and walked away. For 2 days, she didn't say a single word to me. Complete silence. Then, on the night of the second day, she stormed up, all fire, anger, and rage, and said, "And the reason that is your fault is," as though there had been no interruption to our conversation. So I apologized. Even though her justification was convoluted and made no sense, I knew what would happen if I didn't take the blame for her behavior. Another time, I asked to be included in the parents' WhatsApp group. She said no, not because of anything I'd done, but because of what I might do. "You'll hound me, watch everything I say, it'll be unbearable." That was it. A future she had imagined based on behaviors I had never done, used to justify why only she was allowed to be a part of the parents' WhatsApp group. I was always the reason things were bad, not the dynamic, not her treatment, me. And every attempt to defend myself, explain, or bring rationality into the mix was met with rage until I took responsibility for her actions. Eventually, I stopped trying to be understood and focused on trying not to be blamed for existing. But I still was, because that was a tactic and I was in it. Blame shifting doesn't raise its voice, it doesn't need to. It just reassigns the harm until you're the one apologizing for what they did. And if you're someone who values responsibility, fairness, and empathy, that inversion will hit you hardest. But here's the truth: you didn't make them do it, you were manipulated to believe you did. This is just one of the psychological manipulation tactics defined in the master bedroom of the blueprint of family violence against men. You'll find the full list of tactics across all rooms of the blueprint at standagain.com.au, along with tools to help you name what happened and begin healing from it. And no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you can stand again.